Hi, I hope you're doing good. Today's episode is part 3 about the hydroponic Dutch bucket system. Today I'm going to show you how to plant and prune and take care of your plants. So let's go. Hi, good morning. It's a beautiful day today. I want to do a short clip on how I'm not saying how to plant for hydroponic, but how I find that works for me. If somebody out there um, has a better idea, can show me, send me some comments on below. And again, I remind you, please subscribe and click on the notification bell for future episodes. I really appreciate that. So today, what we're going to do, we're going to plant some seeds. Well, what I did a few minutes ago is these are what you call rock wool. So what I did was I soaked it. They say soak it for 20 minutes. I don't see the point. You can soak it for 10. You soak it this way, soak it that way, in just water. Seeds don't need anything else but just water. Now, I've devised a way, because if you can see here, there's a little hole. I find it like impossible to stick the seeds inside there. So what we did in the past was we pinched out the part, and then we put the seeds, and then we put it on top. But there's another way that I think works, and I will try that way today. So what I did is I have this this tweezer. I stick it in the hole, I open it, and I open it a bit, like that. This way I can put the seeds in. See? So that's what I do. So here today, I'm going to plant some lettuce and some bok choy. Today is August 20th. We have basically about 7 weeks, 8 weeks left, and I just planted some others, so they're gonna grow. So I'm going to set some seeds, which in about 3 weeks I can transplant some of them that is missing. So here's what we do. Lettuce seeds are very tiny. They're very tiny. For me to pick this up with my finger, it's impossible, not with these fingers. So what I do is, I take a toothpick, I break off the tip, like that. I soak it in some water, just wet it a little bit. I take the seed. Oh, hold on, I gotta soak it a bit more. Okay, this one is here, I'll put that one in. And what you can do is, like when you set it in, put it on both sides of the hole. So you can do 2, you can do 3. 2 works for me. So that's fine. See, I put this one in here. I put this one in here. So I'm not going to show you how I plant all of them. That'll take too long. You know, you can even put the seed just like that in the tray. And I see a guy do that. Just put it in the tray and it works. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to take this little piece that I took off. This is one way we do it. Put it on top and squeeze. The other one, I just squeeze the end together so that it can be dark. Okay? So that's for that. Now I'm going to show you, this is bok choy, which is one of my favorite things. This one you can do with your finger, because you see these seeds are like, they're a little wrong. So, but you can also take it with a tweezer. Pick 2 of them, stick it in the hole. Let's try it to see if it works with a toothpick, because these are bigger, so I don't know if it'll work with a toothpick. It does, see? So you take it and you stick it in the hole. And that's it. As a matter of fact, the toothpick seems to work better. There you go. Oh, one fell out. There you go. And then you just, I put just one there, but I'm sure it's gonna grow. I'm sure it's gonna grow. With these seeds, I get like 98% of germination. So which is pretty good. Sometimes, I don't know, there's one, I don't get it, the plants don't grow. And I think it's because we forget to put seeds in that one, and that's what happens. So that's simple, that's how we plant. Now, when this is finished, well, I will complete this after because I don't want to take up too much time. What I do is, I cover this with, like that. I leave these holes open. Okay, I don't know what is right or wrong, but that's what I do. And then, I cover it with a black garbage bag. And then I put it in a room like I'm going to put it in my cabana because it's warm in there. It cannot be cold. Somewhere warm, and you cover it, leave it 2-3 days, and it will sprout. And that's it. So that's how I do the planting on the rock wool for hydroponic. So thank you. I'm going to show you another clip on now on how I prune my tomato plants and also how I clip them. So if you'll follow me, I'll show you that. So these are what you call tomato clips. These are something I bought, and a kind man, gentleman, sent me a whole bunch, and I'm okay. So here in this part, there's some spots there, like let's call them teeth. So when you fold, it bites on to the string. So this is where I'll just cut this piece of string to demonstrate to you. This is where you put the string there, and then you close, and it sticks. See, it sticks. It doesn't slide. So what it'll do, it'll hold the tomato plants up. So that's the whole thing about it. To open it, you press, you open, and that's it. It's released. So these, I'm sure at the end of the season, seeing that I'm just a hobby farmer, the big commercial farmers, I'm sure, throw these out because they do it by the thousands. Me being just a hobby farmer with a small plot, small hydroponic 40-45 bucket apparatus here, I will save these for next year. So I think if I keep saving them and they don't break, for the rest of my life, as long as I keep planting in this quantity, I will not need again. So now, here's a tomato plant that I left to show how to prune it. Now, this is another thing. This is called a cluster hook, I think it's called. And this is what you do. You see, this bunch of tomatoes is quite heavy. So if you leave it there, most probably it will break off. It can break off and fall, and then you lose that cluster of tomatoes, because here you have 4 and then you have some small ones here. I don't know if they're going to come or not. So I'm just going to show you, demonstrate on how I think it's supposed to be used, because this is how I do it. You take the hook, you hook it onto the stalk, and then
use the other hand.
And then you just clip this up there like that. There. So what it does, it takes some of the pressure off the joint. So it won't break off the plant. So that's what I do for the clusters. of tomatoes, because this year I'm having big clusters, so I have to do that. Now, let's talk a bit about pruning. You can use a scissors like this, or if you want to be a little bit more fancy, you get something like this, because this is made specifically for that. You can buy this, I don't know, sure, all the garden stores have it, including if you live in Canada, Canadian Tire, Home Depot, I'm sure they have this. So you need something like this to prune. Make sure it's clean, because you don't want to infect the plant. So let me show you what it is. Last year when I grew tomato plants, I didn't do anything. I had no idea. I did no research, and I planted for years, many years, and I did it. I just put it in soil and let it grow. This year I'm doing hydroponic. I did more research, and then I learned that you have to prune tomato plants, because you don't want to grow leaves only. You want to grow fruits, less leaf. So all the leaves at the bottom is gone. You only need like 12 branches of leaves on top. So you have to constantly prune. Another thing is, you see, there's just two. What I do is, it's one plant, but I made it two. If you don't prune tomato plants, especially indeterminate plants, they're gonna grow wild. When I say wild, I mean you have something that's called suckers. Okay, let me look here. Here you have it. Okay, here you have suckers. This is the main plant. It comes up. There's a branch here, and in between here, there's another branch growing. You call that a sucker. Okay, suckers, you have to cut them out. Don't get emotional about it. Just cut it out. How do you know which one to cut? On the main branch, you see there's a cluster of tomatoes. Like this one here, there's a cluster of tomatoes. So that's the main branch. If you let the sucker grow, they're going to be cluster of tomatoes too. Look right here, there are tomatoes coming. But trust me, you don't need that. You don't need to grow that, because it's going to grow into a bush and then you're going to lose control. So you snip it off. That's it. You come up here, leaves, main branch, cluster with tomatoes. So that's how you know it's the main branch. And in between, the sucker. Cut it out and discard it. Here you go up again. You see there's a cluster of tomato, and somehow this plant is ending here. So we'll leave that sucker to see. There's no other main stalk, so we'll leave that to see for it to grow. Because this tomato plant, I don't know if it's a indeterminate or a determined tomato plant. Here, this one I know for sure it's an indeterminate. So up here, the suckers, the small ones, like this, you can just break them off. Here I have a bigger one. I'll take it off. You don't need the big ones. Okay? Here there's a gigantic one. So you cut it out. How do you know again? The main stalk has its cluster of tomatoes or blossoms. So that's the main stalk. This one here is between the leaf and the stalk. So you cut it out. See how big it is? But you don't need that. So you take it off. So now I will show you what I do, how I clip it up. So like I told you, these are called tomato clips. You can use them, I even use them on an eggplant. Tomato clips. So I have these strings that I tied here. I made this apparatus so that the tomatoes could grow up. So I hang them up. What you do is take off this sucker. Just bear with me a little bit, because I don't want to break my tomatoes, my bunch, my cluster. So here is a branch. So the best place to put it is right under this branch of leaves, so that it has something to hold it up. So remember I told you about the spot, the teeth, where the teeth is. You put that where the string is. Put that where the string is. Hold on a second. And then you close. You close it like that, and there you go. This one is done. I'm going to do another one for you. There, put it there like that, right under the leaf branch, and then I clip it up, and there you go. So this is gonna grow up. I think I'm gonna snip the top off after, so that to end it, because whatever tomatoes are gonna come after that, I wouldn't have enough time to reap. So above that that pole there, I think that's where I'm gonna end all of the plants. So that's it on how I clip the tomato plants. And like I told you, you can do the same thing for the eggplant. See here my eggplant, they're growing up. They're growing up. I want to be careful not to break off the blossoms. So I put that, and then I clip it, and that's it. Keep it like that. I should have put it right under this branch here, but I'll do that after, as long as you have the idea on what I'm talking about. These leaves here, these are Japanese beetle that's eating them. You know what? It's okay. Don't fuss about it. The only thing I fuss about is when they eat my bak chow. But you can live with that. Let them live. You live. Everybody's happy. So that's it is for this episode. And please remember to subscribe. Click on the notification bell so that you can see future episodes, and also to support my channel. Thank you very much, and have a great day.